Crime Lab is here. There's an investigation happening. As I talk, I am seeing news crews from my left and from my right arriving here as this becomes both a national and international story. Of course, we all heard last Friday when Prince's plane made an emergency landing in Illinois. He was rushed to the hospital. You can see a couple crews leaving behind me. I'll step out of the shot for a second. But as I was saying, his plane made an emergency landing in Illinois on Friday. He made a brief stay at a hospital there before returning to Minnesota, returning to Chanhassen. Prince saying that he was dehydrated. And then just a few days later, last Saturday, he had a party behind me here at Paisley Park that went late into the night. And from a couple people who attended that party, they told me that Prince, he seemed fine. One person told me that he thought he might have had the flu. So not exactly explaining what we are seeing and what we are hearing here today at Paisley Park. For those who aren't familiar, Paisley Park, it's where Prince lives. It's where he records albums. It's where he has concerts. It's where he has these kind of last-second parties he invites anyone to go to. A lot of artists will practice their tours here because of the quality of the venues inside here. I got to see Alabama Shakes play here last year.
This is really sad.
Concert facilities here, and then after the concert,
like I really wanted to meet this guy.
Everyone hopes that Prince might show up and play. The night I was here, he did not show up and play, although he did a solo on stage with Alabama Shakes. But it's a very unique, I would describe it as sort of a compound here. It's a bunch of buildings kind of connected here with a fence around it. And right now, again, we have some type of death investigation.
Why do the good people always gotta go?
Is the one who passed away at the age of 57.
No, the good people.
Law enforcement. I should point out that behind the Paisley Park facility here, there's a tour bus parked in there. I don't know if it belongs to Prince or to someone else. And then I do see some private vehicles with a couple people inside those vehicles. We haven't been able to get any information from them yet. But again, that's the latest here. I'll toss it back to you. If you have any more questions, feel free to pass them on to me.
Right, Ted, obviously we can see police are behind you. We know the medical examiner's there. I have a question. Are fans showing up? Everybody on Twitter is talking about this, saying, please don't let this be Prince. Please don't let this be Prince. I would imagine fans are starting to show up, wondering what's going on there.
Prince has such loyal friends that they love him as an artist. Just when I started tweeting out that I had learned that there was a death here, I was getting retweets and comments from people all across the country and the world saying, I'm going to turn off social media until I know or don't know that it's Prince because I just can't bear this waiting game. Right now, I see a couple people showing up. It's hard to tell if they're fans at this point. I can see a couple people who are in tears, so we'll assume they are fans. But right now, mostly local media, some stringers. It looks like those are producers who might be paid from a network or a website here to gather information. But Chanhassen's not exactly the most centrally located area, so I would imagine now, as TMZ especially is reporting it, it's going to be quite a scene here. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't have law enforcement here yet, at least trying to organize what's sure to be is traffic and media logistical issues as both media and fans show up here to bear witness what's happening.
Keep this still.
It is confirmed by law enforcement that Prince is the one who passed away here. I would imagine that there would be some type of vigil or memorial type of service taking place today and tonight here. People leaving flowers, things like that. That's just the kind of fans he has. He is, as we all know, he is beloved around the world. Paisley Park is almost a religious place, institution for many people. People who don't live in Minnesota, who aren't lucky enough to come here for some type of concert or some type of event, they hope they get that one lifetime opportunity to come here, maybe go to a party, and maybe Prince shows up at that party, and then you have that memory for the rest of your life. Although you don't have a picture of it, he never allows cell phones or smartphones in these type of events. He's a very private figure. He does tweet. He is on Twitter. He had a sort of humorous tweet after all the rumors about his sickness when he made the emergency landing. But he has not tweeted in 2 or 3 days. I know talking to people who follow him regularly, they say he tweets every day, if not more than once a day. So I don't know. When we last couple of days. Other than the fact, if he did have the flu, he was dehydrated. Maybe he wasn't feeling well. But you can probably tell behind me the traffic is picking up here. There are a lot of people just driving by to look. Some people pulling over, rolling down their window, taking pictures for Prince fans. What is truly a nightmare happening here at Paisley Park today.
Well, and Ted, we know in relation to where you are, so many people drive by Paisley Park on a daily basis in that area, right off of Highway 5 and Audubon where you are, and that's where Paisley Park is. You were saying Hennepin County Crime Lab is there, medical examiner. Do we know, have we heard from authorities yet when we may get some kind of concrete statement from them as to what's going on, and do we have any kind of time frame as to when there might be some kind of disclosure?
We do not have an exact time frame. Again, what the Carver County law enforcement official who provides law enforcement for Chanhassen, he told me that they want to notify next of kin. I'm not that familiar enough with the Prince's family to know who that might be or how long that process might take. But I would imagine as more people keep showing up here, as the international attention is focused here, that is going to put some pressure on authorities to make some type of release. But I don't have an exact time frame yet at this point in time.
Ted, you talked about, there's been so much speculation over the last couple days or so when we heard that he was sick. They had to have that emergency landing. People got really nervous when they heard that last week. Then he said, I'm fine, I've got the flu, and all right. You said you spoke with some people who were actually at that surprise concert over the weekend, and they said he seemed fine. I mean, as much as you could tell on someone, who's performing on a stage.
Yeah. I mean, Prince is a unique guy. I mean, it's hard to know what we might call normal, but from the reports of people I've talked to, they said he was himself, which is often sort of mysterious. He was doing something, I don't have the exact way it happened, but revealing some type of microphone or a musical instrument that night that was covered up. He's always he teases his fans a little bit. That's part of the fun. That's part of the aura around Prince. But they said he seemed exactly like how he always is for these types of overnight parties or overnight concerts, whatever you might want to call them. And yeah, on Twitter, the first tweet after he made this emergency landing, it had a little tongue-in-cheek remark and a little smiley face emoticon, telling people not only am I fine, but let's laugh this off. So I think a lot of people were deeply concerned when they heard the reports about this emergency landing. But I think his behavior, his social media posts, kind of persuaded people everything was going to be fine. One person who knows Prince quite well and talked to him quite recently, I think as recently in the last couple days, utterly shocked by what she is hearing today, what TMZ is reporting.
Well, and Ted, we know, of course, Prince has his roots right here, born in Minneapolis, has always stayed here, even at the height of his fame and his continued fame, after really the 80s when it kind of peaked for him. But he always kind of stayed true to this area, and I think that's why so many people love Prince in our area, because he's always kept true to where he's from, his roots, which are right here in our area.
Yeah, sort of a contrast to Bob Dylan, say, who sort of just covered up all of his Minnesota roots in many ways and made some very fondly of Minnesota. Prince is a guy who could live anywhere in the world, and he is choosing Minnesota. Not only choosing Minnesota, choosing this some suburb of Chanhassen and having this compound here, where he not only stays here, but he invites the community into his home. I mean, think about that. Prince, this international figure, he's inviting strangers. He doesn't know who these people are, into his home with very little supervision. I can tell you, when I was there, it would have been really easy for me to just wander around and check things out. So he took a risk, and he takes risks with his followers, with his fans, and I think that's one reason why people here in Minnesota are so loyal to him, not just because he stayed here, but because he trusts his fans, he embraces his fans, and his artistry above all. He's constantly keeping us guessing, constantly evolving, and he's as we all know, he's sort of this mythical person, but a real human being in Minnesota. Minnesota that we can read about, we can see him perform at the Super Bowl, and then we can show up over the weekend and party with him. It's just, I don't know of any other artists like this, anywhere else in the world, at least with Prince's stature.
And we're just now getting the tweets. I'm reading one from Shaquille O'Neal as people start to understand what has happened here and what TMZ has reported that in fact it is Prince who died there at Paisley Park this morning. Shaquille O'Neal saying, "R.I.P. Prince, another icon gone too soon." And as we know, social media is exploding right now.
I mean, everybody is talking about this right now, and so many people are seeing, that TMZ is now reporting this, but so many people are saying this can't be happening. Please make sure that this is false. Saying don't let this happen. Not wishing obviously someone else harm, but they're just saying I can't believe it. Just cannot believe that this is potentially happening. So many people are impacted, whether or not you've seen him, or even if you're a fan of his work or not a fan of his work, you know who this person is. You've seen him perform, and he's kind of got this aura where you just have to be a little bit enthralled by him.
Yeah, it's funny you guys mentioned what people are tweeting. I'm looking behind the camera here. There's a little grassy hill that overlooks Paisley Park, and the top of the hill, a dozen people right now, and some are looking at Paisley Park, but most right now they're on their phones. They're reading tweets. They're trying to find out what's going on until we hear anything from law enforcement. And we've been on the air for some time now, and still no law enforcement officials coming over here to confirm anything or tell us what's happening next.
And not directing traffic either, it appears. And are we seeing a higher volume also of traffic there on 5, or does it seem pretty typical at this point? We're seeing a number there in Audubon.